Hello students, this is Jayalakshmi from CSE department. Today we are going to discuss previous year GATE questions from C programming and data structure. Last two sections we have covered 10 questions. Each section we have covered 5 questions. Today also we are going to cover 5 questions from this previous year GATE question. Before going to the question, I would encourage you to please pause the video for a while and try to answer the question by your own before looking into the solution for all the 5 questions. Okay, let us see the first question. In this first question, they have given one program and you have to find the output of this program. In this program, we have two functions. One is main function and next one is use the different function, which is total function. You always know the flow of execution will always start from the main function. And so the cursor will start from the main function. Inside the main function, they declared static variable x equal to 0. You all know the difference between the normal variable and static variable. Coming to the static variable, in static variable memory allocation is done only once, and it will and only update the value, it will not erase the value. Coming to normal variable, it will create the multiple memory allocation in each class or in each function. Coming to in function concept, the static variable will not destroyed after completing the function. It will remains the memory allocation. Coming to normal variable, after completing the function, it will destroy the memory allocation and it will create the new memory allocation for a second call likewise. But static variable will not destroy the memory allocation. It will update the second value. It updates this value in a second call function. Yeah, now it is clear to you all, I think so. Okay, we will coming to the question. In main function, we have the first statement, that is variable declaration, that to static variable declaration. Now, static variable x is equal to 0. Initially, static variable is default value is 0, but they have assigned 0 to this static variable. Okay, we will move on to the second statement. In the second statement, we have variable I. The way I variable contains the value 5. Okay. Till now we have seen two variables. One is a static variable, that to x is equal to 0, and the second one is normal variable, I is equal to 5. Okay, we will move on to third statement. In this third statement we have for function. Normally for function contains 3 expressions. One is initial expression, next one is condition expression, and final one is increment or decrement expression. In this for loop, we have decrement expression. Okay, in initialization, they have done in second statement itself. So we consider I is equal to 5. In coming to second expression, that is condition expression, the condition is I is greater than or 0. We have the value for I is 5. We need to check the condition. 5 is greater than 0, whether it is true or false. Yes, it is true. The condition is true. The cursor is move into inside the for loop. Inside the for loop, we have one statement, x is equal to x plus total of I. This total is user defined function, so the cursor is move outside the main function to the total function. So the cursor is transfer from this position to this position. That is what I have written in the explanation area. Coming to this explanation area, first time the for loop is called. So in the first iteration, I is equal to 0, and we need to check the condition, that is 5 is greater than or 0. The condition is true. It will proceed the further execution. That is what I have said already. X equal to x plus total of 5. This is I. Instead I hold the value 5, so that I have written 5. Okay. Now we have to move the cursor into the total function, that is the total function here. Inside the total function, again we have another variable, that is another variable v. This v is considered as a parameter. It's okay. This v is considered as a parameter. This parameter holds the value 5 because we have sent the 5 inside the argument total. So this 5 is copied into the variable v. Yeah. Then the cursor is moved inside the total function. Inside the function, again we have another static variable count. This count holds the value 0. Yeah, fine. Next, we will move on to the second statement. Second statement, we have while function. That is what I have written in this explanation area. First time, the while condition holds the value 5. This v contains the value 5. So, the while of v will also contains the value 5. So, while of 5, the condition is true other than 0 because it has not any condition. So if anything value, it will accept the condition which is true other than integer value, that is except 0, it all the values gets true, except 0 it will get false. Okay, so the condition is true. We will move on inside the while function. Inside the while function, we have further two statements. A first statement is count plus equal to v and 1. This is uni operator and symbol. So we have to done AND operation for v and 1. That is what I have written here. Count equal to, initially count variable holds the value 0 plus the v value is 5. That is what I have written 5 and this one is 1. Okay. After doing the AND operation for 5 and 1, we finally get the value 1. How we will get this 1? Yeah, coming to this part. For binary value for 5 is 0, 1, 0, 1. And likewise, binary value for 1 is 0, 0, 1. After doing the AND operation, I think you all of you know AND operation. The values are same. It will return the 1, or else it will return the 0. That is so. Two operators contains the value 1 in this position. So output is get 1. This 0, 0, it is also 0. 1, 0 also gets 0. And last 0, 0 is also get 0. Finally, after converting this binary into the decimal value, we will get the 1 as an output. That is what I have written here. So finally, we need to add 0 plus 1. We get 1. Okay, we will move on to the second statement inside the while loop. V is right shifted equal to 1. So we need to shift the value of V into one position. That to right shift. That is what I have written. V holds the value 5. First we need to convert this decimal 5 into the binary value. So converting this decimal value, we get 0, 1, 0, 1. This is what the binary value for 5. After shifting the 1, after the 1 shifting from right side, so the 0 is come to this position and 1 come to this position and 0 come to this position. Last one is get destroyed. That's what I have written here. So the first position we need to always assign 0 to this position. So after converting this value into this decimal value, we will get 2 as an output. That is what I have written. Finally, V is equal to 2. Okay. After completing, the condition is iterated second time. The while loop get while loop of 2. How it will finally we got V output is 2. So this 2 is come into the while condition, while of 2. Now again we need to find the count value and V value. Now the count contains the value 1 plus V contains the value 2. So 2 ampersand 1. Again we need to check the AND operation for 2 and 1. After performing these operations, finally we get the 0 as an output for this output. So 1 plus 0 we get 1 as an output. Coming to the next second statement, v holds the value 2, so need to convert this decimal to binary. After converting the binary value, we need to shift the right shift for one position. After shifting, we finally get the output as 1, so the value for v is 1, and the while condition is further executed because of 1. Inside the while function we have two statement. Count is equal to 1 plus 1 ampersand 1, and 1 ampersand 1 get the value 1, and count equal to 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Now the value v holds the value 0 because the 1 converted into the binary value. The binary value is shifted into this right shift. After shifting this, finally we get the output as 0. That is what I have written. The while of 0, the condition is false, so the while loop is terminated. Finally, after completing this for while loop, the cursor is moved outside the while loop. After completing while loop, next statement is return count. The finally count holds the value 2, so it returns the 2 value back to the for function. So it returns the value back to this total function. So we have to calculate this x value. Initially x value is 0, so 0 plus 2 we get 2 as an output for the variable x. Okay, next we need to execute the second iteration for. That is I is equal to 1, 4 is greater than 0, condition is true. Again, and the for loop is condition is true, so the cursor is moved inside the for function. X is equal to x plus total. That is what I have written. X is equal to 2 plus total of 4. Now the cursor is moved on to the user defined function total. Inside the user defined function we have while function. First time v variable contains the value 4, so the while of 4 is condition true, so we execute the inside the two statement, that is count statement and this v statement. For count equal to, now the count holds the value 2 plus variable v holds the value 4 ampersand 1. Yeah. After calculating AND operation for 4 and 1, we get the output as 0. So that is what I have written here, 0. Then finally we need to add these 2 plus 0, we get the 2 as an output for the count variable. So that is what I have written here. And second statement v variable, that too we need to shift the right shift for single position. Now the variable v holds the value 4. 4 is binary values converted 0 1 0 0. Now shifted to right side, that to one single position. Now finally we get the output is 2. That is what I have written here. Likewise, the value of now v is updated by 2. Again we need to find the count and v variable. 2 plus 2 ampersand 1, you already know the 2 in 2 ampersand 1 is we will get 0, so 2 plus 0 we get 2 as an output. For v variable, after converting 2 into this right shift, we will get the value 1, so the value now v is updated into 1. Now the while loop is again called. The while loop condition is true because v value is 1, so we need to find again count variable and v variable. Now the count variable will get the 3 as an output after completing these operations. 2 plus 1 ampersand 1, this 1 ampersand 1 is we will get the output as 1 because they have already worked in the right side. This 2 plus 1 we will get 3 as an output. for v variable, after shifting this 1 into the right shift, we will get the output as 0. So that is what I have written here. Move on to the next iteration. The v value is 0, so while condition get false, so we need to return the count value. The finally we have the count variable is 3. Count variable holds the value 3, so it returns the value 3, and the 3 is back to the main function inside the for loop. Inside the for loop we have x is equal to x plus total of that function. So 2 plus it return the 3 to that function, so we finally get x is equal to 5 as an output. So okay, we will move on to the third iteration, that to for loop. Okay, then third iteration, the condition is also true. We will move on to the user defined function in total, and inside the total function we have again while function. For this while function, first time we will get 3. The condition is true, so we need to find count and v variable. So after completing these expression, we will get the 4 as an output for this count variable. Likewise we will get the 1 after shifting this 3 into the right shift. Okay, now the while loop of 1 is condition is true. Now we need to check the count and v variable. The count value is now 5 and v value is 0. So while v value is 0, the while condition is also get false. Now finally the count value holds the value 5, so it returns the 5 back to the main function inside the for loop for the x variable. So x is equal to x plus 5. Now x value is updated to 10. Move on to the fourth iteration. Now I is equal to 2. The condition is also true, and you have to find the x value. Inside the x value we have user defined function total. So the total function is called, cursor is move on to the total function. Inside the total function we have while function. This while function contains two variable, one is count and next one is v. For the count value it holds the 5 and v value it holds the 1, and the while condition is again check the 1, the condition is true. Next we want to find the count and v. For this count it contains the value 6 and v value contains the value 0, and finally the while of 0 condition gets false, so it returns the value 6 back to the main function inside the for loop. Inside the for loop it assigns the 6 into the variable x. Now the x value is updated into 16. Finally last iteration, fifth iteration, the two fifth iteration I is equal to 1, the condition is true again. Now the value of v is 1, so inside the while loop conditions get true. Inside the while loop we need to find two values, one is the count, next one is v. Now count value is holds the 7 as a value and v holds the 0. Now the while condition is get false because the v value is 0, so it returns 7 back to the main function. Inside the main function it assign the value back to the x variable. Already x variable it contains 7 plus already the x variable contains 16 plus 7, we will finally get to 23 as an output. So x variable holds the value 23, the output is 23. I think now the concept is very clear to you. If you have any doubt, please ask or post comment in this group. It will help to improvise the concept also. Thank you. We will move on to the next question. Coming to next question, here they have matched the following. In first, they have given some set of statements, and for that statement they have asked some definitions. We need to match these statements with their definitions. That is what I have written. It is very simple to for first statement, static char variable. I have already told this static variable only memory allocations done only once. It can't erase or destroy the memory allocation. It only updates the value. That is what the definition is, static variable. So we can match this statement to the second statement, value located in the data section of the memory. Okay. Move on to the second statement. M is equal to malloc of chen. This malloc is memory allocation to the variable m. So it lost memory which cannot be free. Option. Move on to the third option. Third statement. This third means a pointer array. So pointer array, we need to match which option? Yeah, first option. The sequence of memory allocation to be stored. You all know the collection of different memory allocations, the same memory the collection of same variables with the size. We will move on to the fourth statement, register int variable. So we need to choose option 3, which requires to allocate a CPU register to store data. So matching these all functions, we will finally get the option A. So option A is correct. Okay, we will move on to the third statement. For the third program, in this program, they have given some set of function, and after executing this sub function, what is the output for this function? Yeah, they have given one function. Consider the following function implemented in C. They given some one function, that is the print xy. After that, and you have to find the output of invoking print xy of 1, 1 is. And you to choose which one is best option and correct option. Okay. In print xy function, it contains the parameter x and y parameter. It contains two parameters, which is x and y. Okay. Now move on to inside the function. Inside the function, the first statement is pointer variable, that to integer pointer variable. Initially, the pointer variable, it creates the memory that it addresses 4000. You all know the pointer variable holds the address of the another variable. That is what I have already said in second class is also. Okay, we will move on to next statement, x is equal to 0. This x holds the value 0. So we need to assign this 0 into the memory allocation. That is what I have written here. Okay, next move on to third statement, pointer equal to ampersand of x. This x is ampersand x is address which is assigned into the pointer variable ptr. Okay, now the address of the x is 1000. This 1000 is assigned to the pointer variable ptr. That is what I have written here. Then move on to next statement, y is equal to star ptr. This star ptr means inside this pointer variable, it holds some value. This value is assigned to the y variable. That is what I have written here. Y is equal to star of 1000. This star 1000 holds the 0 for the first time. Yeah. Then y is converted into 0. Now the value is updated in y variable. Now these two variable x and y variable holds the value 0. Okay. We will move on to the next statement, star ptr equal to 1. Now this star ptr contains the value 1. This star ptr holds the address 1000. Now this 1000 holds the value 0. This 0 is erased and updated by 1. Okay, now the x value holds the value 1 and y variable holds the value 0. Okay, we will move on to the next statement, printf statement. Inside the printf, we have to print x and y variable. So finally, we have to print the value for x is 1 and for y is 0. That is what I have written here. So we need to choose the option C 1, 0. Which is clear to you? Yeah, we will move on to next statement. Sorry, next program. In this program, they have given some set of paragraphs. We need to clarify what is the meaning. Okay, let's see. Consider this C program fragment below, which is meant to divide x by y using repeated subtraction. And the variables x, y, q and r are all the unsigned integer. Okay, and they have given some set of conditions with the statement. Okay, and below that, which of the following condition on the variable x, y, q and r before the execution of the fragment will ensure that the loop terminates in a state satisfying the condition x, which is equal to y star q plus r. Yeah, okay, this question is given to you and you have to find the correct option among these 4 options. Okay, first they have given some conditions. First you have to know what is meaning for these conditions. They have given 4 variables. One is x, y, q, r. These x is means product and y means multiplicand and q means quotient and r means remainder. Okay, normally we how we have done the division using tables. We have divide the for particular values, but coming into the computer we need to feed the coding for this for doing the division operations, so that these how they have done means, if for example we need to divide 8 by 2, so we get the remainder as 0 and quotient as 4. Initially x is equal to, we have 4 variables now, so x is equal to 8, y is equal to 2. Initially quotient is 0 and remainder is x, that is x holds the value 8, so the remainder is get 8. That is what I have written here. Before going to the questions or coding, we need to clarify ourselves. So x is written here and y is written here, q and r and q. This r is remainder and q is quotient. Okay, first time from the x holds the value 8 and y holds the value 2. Okay, so first time we need to minus the 2 from the x variable, so we will get the 6 as an output. But this output is stored in the remainder variable. Now the quotient is incremented for once. Okay, now this remainder gets x value. From the x value we need to subtract the y. So 6 minus 2 we will get the 4. Now the quotient is incremented into plus 1, that 1 plus 1 2. Okay, now this 4 get minused by 2. Finally we get 2 as a remainder. Now the quotient is get 3. Finally the 2 minus 2 gets 0, the remainder comes 0 finally, and last expression the quotient is incremented, that is 4. We got q is equal to 4 as an output, and for the remainder is 0 and the x and y remains the same. Yeah, this is how the machine do the division operation. So likewise we have to done the coding for this concept. So which statement is satisfied for this condition they have asked. Okay, so we need divide a number with a repeated subtraction, a quotient should be initialized to 0. Yeah, I have already told you the quotient will be 0 and it should be incremented for the each subtraction. That is what I have written here. For each subtraction, the quotient variable q will incremented by 1. First time it is 1 and second time it is 2 and third time it is 3 and finally the fourth time it will incremented to 4. That is what I have written here. Okay, so initially q is equal to 0, then this expression comes like this. If q is 0, y into 0 will get 0 and adding this remainder r value into this variable value. So x is equal to r. That is what I have written here. This operand product is which is equal to remainder in initially. Okay. Since y is subtracted from each time in given code, the second statement in this code, see this while of var is greater than or equal to y. In this statement, so we have to find these two operations. One is subtraction, next one is increment operation. That is what they have written here. The second statement written for increment, q is equal to q plus 1, and this one is for this first statement is first statement is for subtraction. That is what I have written here. The value of statement 1, the value of y should be greater than 0. So q equal to 0 and also r equal to x and also y is equal to 0. That's all. So it satisfies all these three conditions. Option C. So option C is the correct option among these four. I think which is clear to you all. We will move on to next program. Okay. They have given program. Consider the following snippet of C program. Assume the swap ampersand x ampersand y, exchange the content of x and y, and they given some programs and you have to find the output of this program. Okay. So let's see. In this program, we have main function. You also know the flow of execution will start from main function. Inside the main function, we have three variables. One is array variable array. Inside the array variable, 3, 5, 1, 4, 6, 2 values. Totally six values. And second variable is done. It holds the value 0. And third variable is I. Okay, we will move on to fourth statement. This fourth statement is condition. Inside the condition, done is equal to 0. Condition is true? Yes, condition is true. So initially the array holds the variable these 6 values. That is what I have written here. And the done variable holds the value 0. That is what I written here. So we need to check the condition. First time the while loop is executed, done value is 0, equal to 0. The condition is true. So cursor is moved inside the function. Inside the function, first statement done equal to 1. So now 0 is get erased and 1 is written here. For the second time, the done value is updated by 1. Okay, we will move on to next statement. In this statement, we have for function that is the first for function. Inside the first for function, first iteration I is equal to 0, and this 0 is less than or equal to 4. Yes, condition is true. So the cursor is moved inside the for loop. Inside the for loop, we have again if condition. Inside the if condition, array of I is less than array of I plus 1. That is, array of 0 is less than array of 1. Array of 0 holds the value 3 and array of 1 holds the value 5. 3 is less than 5, condition is true. So we need to swap the value. So after swapping, which means these 3 gets stored in position 1 and 5 is get stored in position 0. So now the array is changed like this. Now the 5 is coming to 0th position and 3 is moved on to the first position. The remaining position remains the same position. Okay. In second iteration I is equal to 1. I have written wrong, so please update this. Array of 1 is less than array of 2. Array 1 holds the value 3 and array 2 holds the value 1. 3 is less than 1, condition is false, so that loop will not executed. Move on to third iteration. Third iteration I is equal to 2. Array of 2 is less than array of 3. Array 1 holds the value 1 and array 3 holds the value 4. Now 1 less than 4 is condition true, so we need to swap the value. So these 4 stored in the position 2 and 1 stored in the position 3. That is what I have written here. And now this array is rearrange this value like this. So in second position it holds the value 2 and the first position it holds the value 3. Now move on to fourth iteration. I is equal to 3. Now array of 3 is less than array of 4. This array 3 holds the value 1 and the array of 4 holds the value 6. 1 is less than 6, condition is true, so we need to swap the condition. After swapping, we will update this array and move on to the fifth iteration. I is equal to 4. Array of 4 is less than array of 5. Now 1 comma 2 is 1 is less than 2, the condition is true. So again we need to swap the value. So finally we need to update this array variable. After completing this first for loop, whether this array is get assigned in descending order, no. So we will move on to the, after completing this for loop, the cursor is moved into this second for loop. So that is what I have written here. In this second for loop, initially I contains the value 5 and condition is which is always greater than 1. So here we have decrement operation. So first second for loop, first iteration I is equal to 5. Array of 5 is greater than array of 4. 1 is greater than 2. Condition is false. So move on to second iteration. So 5 gets decremented into 4. I is equal to 4. Array of 4 is greater than array of 3. This 2 is greater than 6. Also condition false. So move on to third iteration. I is equal to 3. Array of 3 is greater than array of 2. 6 is array of 3 holds the value 6 and array of 2 holds the value 4. 6 is greater than 4. Yes, condition is true. So we need to swap the value. After swapping, you need to update the array. After updating, these values rearranged like this. So move on to fourth iteration. Fourth iteration, this array 2 is holds the value 6 and array 1 holds the value 3. Now 6 is greater than 3. Yeah, condition is true. So we need to swap the value. After swapping, the array will get updated. Moving into the fifth iteration, I is equal to 1. Now array of 1 is greater than array of 0. This 1 holds the value, array of 1 position holds the value 6 and array of 0 position holds the value 5. Now the condition is true, so we need to swap. After completing this, array will get updated. Okay, now the first while loop condition is completed. Now move on to the second iteration in while loop. The done is equal to 0. Now the condition is true. So inside the for loop we have two for loop. One is first for loop and second one is second for loop. Inside the first for loop, for first iteration the condition will get false. Also second iteration get false. Third iteration 5 is less than 3. Yeah, condition is true. We need to swap the value. This is 4. After completing this, we need update the array variable. After updating this, we get this value. Move on to the fourth iteration. I is equal to 3. This value 3 is less than 2. The condition is false. So move on to fifth iteration. Fifth iteration also get false, but finally the array value is changed. Okay, now the done value is not updated. So done is also now is equal to 0. Then we will move on to the while third iteration. For the first iteration, no changes in this array because it is arranged in descending order. So move on to second for loop. It is also, there is also no changes in this array because array is arranged in descending order. Now in a while fourth iteration in for while loop, done is contains the value 1. This 1 is not equal to 0, so this condition gets false. So finally we need to print this value. Inside the printf we have array of 3. Inside the array 3 we have the value 3. So the output is 3. That is what I have written here. Finally, I come to this. I think these 5 questions is very clear to you. I think so. If you have any doubts, you have any suggestions to tell me, please convey your suggestions or post your comments in this in my YouTube channel. I will surely answer in next time. Okay, thank you.